Think of a big, beautiful, empty land with mountains, forests, lakes, animals, and fish. But no people. This was America 16,000 years ago. Around that time, the first people probably arrived in Alaska from Asia. They traveled south and became the Native Americans of North America and the Maya, Aztecs, Inca, and other peoples of Central and South America. The Inuit Eskimos came to Canada and the Arctic the same way. But there are only a few of these peoples in America today. In the 16th century, Europeans started to come to America. And soon after that, they brought slaves from Africa to work for them. Large numbers of immigrants continued to arrive from all over the world until the middle of the 20th century. The empty land was now full of people speaking different languages and with different ideas. There are just 3 countries now in North America: Canada, Mexico, and the USA. But there were nearly several more, and the 300 million people who live in the 50 states of the United States are not all the same. About 67% are white, 13% Hispanic, Spanish speaking, 13% Black, 4% Asian, and just 1% Native American. Most of them speak English, but it is not the same English as people speak in Britain. And many Americans speak Spanish as their first language. The name America comes from an Italian businessman called Amerigo Vespucci, who sailed to South America between 1499 and 1502. But he was not the first European to make the dangerous journey across the Atlantic. The Vikings came to North America from Scandinavia around AD 1000. But they did not stay. Then in 1492, a brave Italian sailor called Christopher Columbus reached the Caribbean while he was looking for a sea route from Europe to India. Columbus called the Native Americans Indians because he thought that he had reached India. When Columbus returned to Europe, he told people about his adventures, and other sailors followed him across the Atlantic. Europeans came to fish the rich seas of America too. But it was only in the 17th century that the French, the Dutch, and the British all came to live in North America. The French in Quebec, the Dutch in New York, and the British in Virginia and New England. 2 very different groups of English people crossed the Atlantic. The first group began the colony of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607. They hoped to find gold there, but life was very hard for them. There was very little food, and many of them died during the first winter. Then Pocahontas, the daughter of a Native American chief, became a friend of Captain John Smith and helped him and the other English people. She later married John Rolfe and went to England with him. Luckily, tobacco saved the young colony. It was easy to grow tobacco in Virginia, and smoking was becoming very fashionable. People stopped looking for gold and began to grow tobacco, which they sold in Europe. Soon they started to bring people from Africa to work as slaves and help them grow more. John Smith traveled north in 1614 to the part of America that he called New England. When he returned to London, he told people that it was a good place to live. In 1620, another group of 101 English men, women, and children arrived in Plymouth, Massachusetts. These people are called the Pilgrims or Pilgrim Fathers. They had very strong ideas about religion. They did not want to live in England because they did not agree with the English Church. So they sailed to America in a ship called the Mayflower. They farmed the land and traded animal skins. They thought that all people were equal and did not have slaves. The Pilgrims were often ill and hungry, and nearly half of them died in the first year. But they had help from Native Americans, particularly a man called Squanto. He had spent time in England and spoke some English. He showed the Pilgrims how to hunt and grow corn. In the autumn of 1621, the Pilgrims had a big dinner to give thanks for their first food. This day was called Thanksgiving, and Americans still celebrate it every year. It is one of the most important holidays in the year. They eat turkey and pumpkin pie. More and more British people came to live on the east coast of North America in the 17th century. By 1770, there were 13 colonies along the east coast, and they were all governed by Britain. But Britain was far away, and people became angry at high taxes. In December 1773, a group of men threw 342 boxes of tea into the sea at Boston. This was the Boston Tea Party. In April 1775, Americans fought British soldiers at Lexington and Concord. A war began. George Washington became the leader of the American Army. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. He said people had the right to life, freedom, and happiness. The 4th of July became Independence Day. In 1781, the Americans finally won the war. In 1789, George Washington became the first president of the United States. The United States of America was now born. The young country grew quickly, and by the middle of the 19th century, it had 31 million people. But there were serious differences between the North and the South. And in 1861, a terrible war started. At least 600,000 people died in the battles, or from disease. The war began because the southern states kept slaves to work in the cotton fields. But slaves were not allowed in the North. People from the South wanted to have slaves in the new lands of the West. But people from the North argued against this. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected 16th president of the USA. He belonged to the Republican Party, which did not want people to have slaves. On the 24th of December, South Carolina said that it wanted to be independent, and the other southern states soon followed. The fighting began on the 12th of April, 1861, at Fort Sumter. The South had some of the best soldiers. One was the famous Robert E. Lee, and they had plenty of money from selling their cotton to Britain. But the North had more men and more factories. They also had Lincoln, one of the best presidents that the USA has ever had. He was born on a farm in Kentucky, but he worked hard in order to learn as much as he could. Lincoln made the Republican Party strong and spoke about rights and freedom. A very important battle was won by the soldiers of the North at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania in 1863. Lincoln spoke there afterwards about the brave soldiers who had died. This became known as the Gettysburg Address and contains the famous words, "Government of the people, by the people, for the people." Two famous soldiers helped the North to win the war. General Sherman is remembered in a famous song that tells the story of how he took 60,000 soldiers on a journey of 400 kilometers from Atlanta in Georgia to the Atlantic coast. In this way, he cut a wide path through the southern states. After the war, Sherman became head of the American Army. General Ulysses S. Grant represented the North at Appomattox in 1865, when the South under Lee accepted that they had lost the war. Grant was very fair to Lee's soldiers, who did not have to go to prison. Some years later, in 1868, he became president. Sadly, on the 14th of April, 1865, 5 days after the end of the war, President Lincoln was shot at the theater by a man called John Wilkes Booth. He died soon after. After Lincoln's death, the new president was not strong enough to bring the North and South together, and people continued to argue about the rights of black people. During the 19th century, more and more people went to live in the west of the USA. The Wild West that you can see on television and in films is full of cowboys, Indians, and fighting. In fact, there were very few cowboys, no more than 40,000. And real cowboys did not shoot each other or fight Indians very often. They worked hard at their job, taking care of the cows. At least a quarter of them were black or Mexican. They took cows from Texas up to the railway towns in Kansas and Missouri. From there, the cows were sent to Chicago and killed, and the meat was sent to the east and sold. The cowboys almost disappeared after about 30 years because the government gave the land to farmers. From 1862 to 1900, more than 500,000 farmers came to live in the West. They made new farms and grew food. One family that moved west was the Ingalls family, whose daughter Laura Ingalls Wilder told the story of their journey in books like Little House on the Prairie. Life for these farmers was very hard, particularly in winter. The farms were very lonely, but soon, the railways helped to bring people together. In 1869, the railway line from the east met the line from the west in Utah. So then Americans could travel right across the USA by train. Before the railway, from 1860 to 1861, the post was carried across the country by the famous Pony Express. Horses and riders waited at different places. There were about 2 million Native Americans in North America in the 15th century when the Europeans arrived. They belonged to 300 different groups and spoke more than 2,000 different languages. Sadly, the Europeans fought and killed many Native Americans and also brought diseases which killed them. The film The Last of the Mohicans from the book by James Fenimore Cooper, shows the sad end of a group of Native Americans in the 18th century. The Native Americans that we know as Indians in cowboy films lived in the West. They were the Cheyenne, the Blackfoot, and the Sioux, also known as Lakota. For example, there were about 60 million buffalo in North America. And the Native Americans hunted them and used them for food, clothes, houses, knives, and other things. But when Europeans arrived, they wanted to take the land for farms or railways. They shot millions of buffalo, and by 1900 there were fewer than 1,000 of these animals in all of the USA and fewer than 250,000 Native Americans. The great Sioux chief Sitting Bull fought against the white men who wanted to move his people from their own land to Indian land further west. He won an important battle at Little Bighorn in 1876, but could not win the war. The Indian Wars ended in 1890 with the Battle of Wounded Knee, when American soldiers killed many Sioux men, women, and children. After this, Native Americans had to live in special places called reservations. Today, about 39 million people in the USA are Black. In the past, most lived in the South, working on cotton and tobacco plantations. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe showed the cruelty of slavery and helped change public opinion. The Underground Railroad was a secret network that helped slaves escape to the North. Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass were key figures in this struggle. Harriet Tubman helped more than 300 slaves escape. She once said, "I can only die once." After the Civil War, slavery ended, but prejudice continued. Groups like the Ku Klux Klan used violence against Black people. Black men were not allowed to vote until 1870, and even later many were afraid to use their rights. In the 1950s and 1960s, Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement. In 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her bus seat, sparking protests. In 1963, over 200,000 people gathered in Washington, where King said, "I have a dream." In 1964, new laws gave Black Americans equal rights. Martin Luther King received the Nobel Peace Prize, but he was murdered in 1968. Even after progress, problems remained. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 showed continuing inequality as many victims were Black and waited for help. The government of the USA has three separate but equal parts: Congress, the President, and the Supreme Court. Women got the vote in 1920, and all Americans can now vote at the age of 18. All citizens have basic rights, such as freedom of speech. Congress makes the laws. It has two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. There are 100 senators, 2 from each state, elected for 6 years. There are 435 members of the House of Representatives, elected for 2 years. Larger states have more representatives than smaller states. The president is elected by the states. Each state has a number of votes based on its population. The president is the most important leader in the country. He is head of the government and the army. He serves for 4 years and cannot serve more than 8 years. He can reject laws passed by Congress, but Congress can also reject him. He also chooses judges for the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has 9 judges. They decide what laws mean and whether laws are correct or not. Each state also has its own government. Laws can be different from state to state. For example, the age to drive or marry can change depending on the state. Punishments for crimes can also be different. Puerto Rico is not a state, but it is part of the USA. Its people cannot vote in presidential elections. There are 2 main political parties, Republicans and Democrats. Republicans believe in lower taxes and individual responsibility. Democrats believe the government should help people more. Presidential elections often show a divided country, with different regions supporting different parties. Although Americans say anyone can become president, in reality, wealth and family connections often help. Some presidents have come from political families, such as the Adams and Bush families. Other well-known leaders include John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, and even actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who entered politics. The United States is a country built by many different people from many different backgrounds. From Native Americans to European settlers, from African Americans to immigrants from all over the world, each group helped shape the nation. It is a land of freedom, but also a land that has faced war, slavery, discrimination, and struggle. Over time, the USA became one of the most powerful countries in the world, with strong cities, a powerful government, and a global culture. Its influence is seen in music, films, technology, food, and lifestyle across the entire world. From the Grand Canyon to New York City, from California beaches to Alaskan ice, the USA is a land of extreme contrasts. Hot and cold, rich and poor, old history and modern innovation, all exist together in one nation. And the story of the United States is still continuing every single day.